What's up, guys? It is Gray, aka the Kagre, and we got Bleach weekends, is what I'm gonna call it now, because I've been late like 4 weeks in a row. But this time it's only Saturday, as opposed to like Monday, or whatever nonsense happened last time. These episodes, I'm getting a phone call. Are you serious? Are you serious right now? Every time. Every time I frickin' try to do anything on this channel, I swear. These episodes, BYAKUYA versus ICHIGO. It happens. It's awesome. Let's talk about it. But first, you should go bonk on that like button. Subscribe if you want more Bleach content or My Hero content. Yeah, that's really it. So, do those things. My Hokage hat's getting a little tousled. Anyway. Before all that happens, we kind of wrap up the other threads that are going on for the most part, except for like the Shunsui Jushiro one. We go to the rest of the main characters: Uryu, Inoue, Chad, blah blah blah, Ganju. They're like, they sense that there's like a fight happening. They're like, oh, let's go, and they're like at the bottom, the base of the Senkaimon, whatever the mountain thing is. They're like, well, let's get up there. That's where Ichigo is. I can feel it. So that's what they're doing. And we finish up the Irichi Soifon fight, which basically there's not much left to it. It just essentially is Irichi uses her Shunpo. She like stops Soifon's punch. Soifon like breaks down because she's supposed to be stronger than her. She starts crying. It's really sad. We don't really get the resolution. Well, we get the resolution that like the fight's over, but we don't like learn exactly like what their relationship is. No, we do. Okay, we get flashbacks. I don't think we saw this the last time. We get we get flashbacks. How like Soifon was like younger. She was dedicated to helping Yurichi. Yurichi like looked up to her as like or she looked up to Yurichi like definitely in like a mostly romantic way, if I'm being honest. But she liked Yurichi a lot. Infatuated with her, some would say. They Yurichi, like, they're with her. They're always together, like, all the time. And then one day Yurichi just leaves Soifon, and Soifon's been bitter about it the whole time. And very hurt. And it's honestly pretty sad. But anyway, that's, like, over. And then real quick we go to Ikaku and, I think, Iba, right? Is that the sunglass guy? Iba? He's not important, really, ever. They're like just talking. They're like drinking and fighting, and then whoever loses has to go get more booze. It's fine, a fine character moment. And they're like, "Hey, is that Ichigo up there?" And he's like, "Yeah, he's pretty strong. You fought my captain, And then we get to the meat of these past 3 episodes, which worked out really nicely, actually. Because like it ended. The last episode that I watched ended with the like end of their fight, but it's of course Ichigo versus BYAKUYA. It starts off well, I mean, we saw like it start a while ago, but that's like this is really the beginning. He's like, "Hey, I learned this technique. It's a Getsuga, not Getsuga Tensho, just Getsuga." And he like shoots the whoosh whoosh. It's white right now. Doesn't turn black until the hollow mask goes on, I believe, or in Bankai, one of the two. But Ichigo doesn't go Bankai yet. He shoots it, and he's like, BYAKUYA's like, "Whatever, dude. It's lame." And then Ichigo's like, or BYAKUYA goes Bankai and kind of just like wrecks Ichigo a little bit. And Ichigo's like, "Yeah, I shouldn't fight. I couldn't use a Shikai to beat a Bankai either." And he's like, "You don't have Bankai." And Ichigo's like, "Bet." And then he just does the sword out and he goes, "Bankai." It's really sweet. I'm not doing it any justice, but if you haven't seen it, watch it. You should watch the BYAKUYA Ichigo fight, even if you like don't watch Bleach, because it's tight. So Ichigo's Bankai, and of course, it's like the Bankai we all know and love. It looks awesome. It's like Ichigo's Bankai just looks sweet, alright? It just looks so cool. Because it's nice because normally Ichigo doesn't look super cool, but then Bankai Ichigo does. That's good stuff, Kubo. Good stuff. It's like Kubo? It might not be. I'm losing my mind this day and age. All the mangaka artists are just... I'm pretty sure it's Kubo. Tight Kubo? Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I'm like 99% sure that's... Yeah, I'm right. I know I'm right. Shut up. They do their thing. Ichigo's Bankai is super fast. He like deflects all the flower petals in like a second, and BYAKUYA's like, "What?" And then like Ichigo's like right in front of him with the sword at his throat, and he's like, "If I wasn't a good person, I could just kill you right now." BYAKUYA's like, "Okay." You caught me off guard. It's for real now. And then it's kind of like Byakuya like is like, if I move it with my hands, it's so much faster. And he's like, whooshu, whooshu, whooshu. And Ichigo's just like juking and driving. He's like dancing around Byakuya. And he's like, oh, you can't keep up. And finally he like Byakuya like catches his sword and like the side. And he's like cut. And he's like, fine, I'll have to use this technique. And he uses like the 1,000 swords, which is basically just serves as a wall because Byakuya's like, I'm not going to attack all these at once, which would be effective. I don't know why he does it. Whatever. He's like, I just want to beat with my own 2 hands. And he like, the sword falls down and he grabs it. And then it's just a katana fight for a while. Choo, 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 choo. It looks cool. It's great. Ichigo's like, man, he's faster in here. And then Byakuya's like, listen, clearly you think that I'm speeding up, but you're not. But I'm not. You're just getting slower. And Ichigo's like, what? And then Byakuya just like grabs a sword from the wall, stabs his foot in the ground, and shoots a Hado through his chest. And Ichigo's like, oh. And it looks pretty grim for our boy Ichigo. And then, of course, for the first time in the series, really, Hollow Ichigo takes over. The Hollow Mask forms. He has like the creepy reverberated voice, which I love to death. And he just spanks Byakuya. He swipes him. He's juking around, and Byakuya's like, what is going on? Like, are you a hollow, bro? Like, excuse me? Oh, real quick, before we finish this, there's also a subplot with Hitsugaya and Rengoku, like, going to Central 46. And they're like, that's weird. Like, the door's closed, but there's no guards and no alarm. Like, what the heck? Back to that later. So, Hollow Ichigo. Masked Ichigo? It's technically Hollow Ichigo right now because it took over. Whatever. Hollow Ichigo. I mean, it's white, but whatever. You know, no one cares about that until later. He's just destroying Byakuya real quick. And then Ichigo's like, no, I don't want you to win this for me. He rips off the mask. Byakuya is in visible confusion, which I think is hilarious. He's like, clearly, you don't want to use that form to beat me. I'll respect that. I'm not going to ask about it. And then we'll just finish this fight because we're both really weak. By the way, Hollow Ichigo won this fight for him. Otherwise, Byakuya wouldn't have been nearly as hurt and be able to end the fight the way they do. Basically, like, we only have enough strength for one more attack, so let's just end it. Ichigo... No. Hold on. Yeah, Ichigo asks them, he's like, hey, one question. Why are you still going after Rukia? And he's like, I'll answer that if you beat me. Byakuya has, like, the really cool, like wings, white wings, halo. Ichigo's like, I'm just going to use a Getsuga because I don't have any fancy schmancy stuff like that. They swipe. Ichigo's sword goes through Byakuya's sword. It breaks back into rose petals. Byakuya gets owned. They both are basically KO'd at this point. But technically, I guess Ichigo wins, even though it's basically a even win. But Ichigo... or Byakuya's like, all right, you just like that, like, I'm a noble, I have to uphold the laws. And I'm assuming next episode or soon we're gonna get the flash, because I'm almost positive there's a flashback with Byakuya's wife, right? Almost positive we get that, and that gives a little more light on it. But Byakuya still acted completely out of line this arc, like, the whole time. But they attempt to humanize him a little bit in a flashback soon. I'm pretty sure it's soon. It has to be. But he's like, listen, like, I just can't. Like, I have to uphold the laws. There's familial bonds are not above the law. And Ichigo's like, if it were me, I would have fought the law. And then Byakuya's like, oh, he wasn't fighting me. He was just fighting the Soul Society law. Okay. And then Byakuya's like, I'm not going to chase her anymore. You win. And he leaves. And I'm like, that's great, Byakuya, but that doesn't change Genryu's side. The rest of Ichigo's friends show up. They're like, oh, you did it. Good job. You know, he's like, I was so worried about you. And he's like, I'm fine. Ruki's fine. And then that's it. At the very end, we get a tease because Hitsugaya breaks down the door to Central 46. They walk in and they're like, oh my god. And then it ends with a cliffhanger. Of course, I know what they see in there, and you guys probably do too. But we're not going to see it until next week. We better be here for it. Anyway, that's going to do it for me. Sweet episodes. I freaking love Ichigo's Bankai. I love Hollow Ichigo so much. Can't wait to start getting to... I can't wait to react to the end of this arc. I'll tell you that much, because we are close. This is definitely the beginning of the climax. Well, not the beginning. This is like, we are in the climax deep. And it's awesome. Either way, everyone, thank you all so much for watching. I will see all of you next time. Stay safe out there. Peace.